Hey everybody, thank you for joining me. Welcome to Friendship Shaving. Today I'm going to be shaving with a different style of Shavette to the one I used last week. This is a Feather Kamasori style razor, and this is the Feather Artist Club SS. Just to show you that it completely comes apart for cleaning, but the clever part of this is if I put it back together, it has a little hinge that allows you, and I've got my blade here ready, it allows you just to drop the blade in like so, and you're ready to go. And similarly, you can pop it out if you don't wish to keep your blade in the razor, in case you're worried it might get into your children's hands or something like that. It does come with a little plastic case. You can buy this as an extra. And we'll talk more about the razor as we go along. Today I'm going to be shaving with an Ariana and Evans soap, and this is Cacao Lussuria. And there we are. Be talking about that too. And I have that on a vintage brush, and this is a Rubber Set 400 if you've never seen one before, an American company, Rubber Set, and this is one of their most famous brushes. It is made of aluminium, and I have put in a synthetic knot, and we'll start putting some of that on today. Now the scent of this soap, Cacao Lussuria, when I smell it in the tub, it smells exactly like a rich, wet chocolate cake. You know, a really gooey, rich cake. And it retains some of that scent as I mix the soap up in the bowl. But the actual scent notes are coffee, cocoa, tonka beans, bitter orange, vanilla, dried fruit. It dies down to some woody tones, and then there is a real after dinner thing because there's just a hint of cognac and tobacco in with it as well. I wasn't sure that I would like a rich, chocolatey scented soap, but with the other scent notes mixed in, it's actually very nice indeed. There we are, I think that's enough soap in there, or on my face rather. So I'm going to talk about this Feather Artist Club SS razor as I shave. There are a number of different blades that you can choose to go in this razor that will affect its performance. The one I've got in there is a Feather Professional Soft Guard blade. I like these, the pink ones, and I will talk more about those blades and what makes them a soft guard as we get going. Now this razor, you can maybe see, has a very rounded end or base, whichever way you look at it, and that with the razor blade, that creates the angle to shave at. Just empty some water out and we'll get going. Now I'm going to remove my glasses just for a moment and get started. Put my brush up here so I don't knock it off into the sink. There we are. Perhaps you've seen already, this is a very easy razor to shave with once you're used to it. And I stress that caveat because I had one of these for a long time and it took me a long time to begin to get used to it, and I kind of gave up on it because I got another razor in a similar style that suited me better. Going back to this one now with a little more practice and the different blade, and I find it to be a different razor, so to speak. As I've said, the razor is a stainless steel razor, and it's very cleverly hinged to let you put the blade in easily. And the handle is made of a silicone resin. It's got a slightly soft, sticky feel to it. Although it isn't sticky in that sense at all, it's just very grippy, and it's rounded so you can alter the angle should you wish to. And it is a really well balanced, well made razor, but they are quite expensive. The SS, not to be confused with the Feather DX, which can look very similar. The SS for stainless steel, retails in the UK for about £100. You might find it a little bit less, you might find it a little bit more. If you can find one second hand, that's maybe the way to go. I must admit, I like the style of this razor. It is quite different from holding a straight razor, but it fits the hand really nicely. It really does a good job. But as I say, it did take me a long time to get used to it, so bear that in mind. Now I'll give you some stats about the razor and the blade. These type of blades are 50mm in length, so quite a bit longer than your usual DE blade perhaps. The razor itself is 156mm in length and 44 grams in weight. And I find that's a very nice weight for this style of razor. Perhaps you wouldn't want something heavier. Just to clarify, the DX razor that I talked about earlier is a professional razor, and rather than being around the £100 mark, the DX is around the £200 mark, so quite a price jump there for the different type of razor. There are cheaper styles of this razor available for a lot less money, but they won't be made of stainless steel. They'll be made of a zinc alloy, although they might have a stainless steel spring inside to allow you to open the razor up. And of course there's no guarantee that it will be exactly the same shave as this feather. So the choice is yours, really. But my recommendation, if you were thinking of trying this style of razor and razor blade, is to look for a cheaper one and see how you get along with it before you spend the £100 on a feather razor, unless of course you can buy one second hand at a good price. And just to give you some idea of the price difference, I have a razor here which is a different style of handle, as you can see, but a very similar style of head to the razor. It comes apart just exactly the same way as a feather, but that quite a few years ago now was £11 on AliExpress, so a lot cheaper than the feather. And that type of razor came in this style as well, so you know, at the time I found that cheap razor gave me a better shave than I could manage with the feather. So you know, it just goes to show that an expensive razor is not necessarily best for you. But I would stress, now that I am more practiced, I find this very easy and I get a very nice shave from it. I always found before it was a little bit aggressive. Now some of that would have been the angle that I was holding the razor at. And some of that would have been to do with the type of blade I had in the razor. Because there are 5 types of blade available for this razor. And I'll talk about the blades in just a moment. So the first type of blade I'm going to talk about is actually one that I don't have. It's called a light blade. It comes in a green case rather than the pink case of the Softguard. Now this one has a very small blade exposure of 0.4 of a millimetre. So it is going to give a mild shave, and it's described by Feather as giving a mild, thorough shave. Now the one I'm using, the Softguard, the sharp edge of the blade is enclosed in a very tiny wavy wire. Now the blade exposure is 1mm, but because of that wire it just changes the angle slightly as the razor blade is on the face and allows for a little bit of a milder shave, and that is classed as a mild, relaxed shave. On the other side of the spectrum we have the professional guard razor, which is one of those, and this also has a little guard on the blade, a little type of wire, but that one, although it has a 1mm blade exposure when it sits in the razor, that is described as a close relaxed shave as opposed to the mild relaxed shave of the Softguard. And then there are the super blades. They have a bigger blade gap, 1.25mm, so they're going to give you an even better shave. I haven't got one of those to show you, but they are described as a close, thorough shave. So you can see the differences there, and there is one more blade just to mention, and that is a Feather Professional. And this blade sits right in the middle of the previous four. So just to give you some idea of the types of blade available for the razor from Feather, I'll put a link in the description to the video to the Feather site where it describes it, and it shows a nice graphic, so perhaps better than me just talking about it. You can just have a quick look and see exactly what I'm on about. There are of course other types of blade available for the razor from different manufacturers such as Kai, another Japanese firm, or Schick, which I believe are also made in Japan now. And I'm sure there are others out there. I know Connaught Shaving stocks quite a few different types of blade for the Feather razor. So we'll go against the grain this one. Just to say guys, I'm getting a really nice scent now off this soap. It still smells very chocolatey. The soap is a beef tallow and it contains goat's milk, pig fat and lanolin. Now perhaps you saw then, I was just doing very close little buffing motions there, just on that curve of my neck. My skin is very soft there, but my hairs are quite coarse in that bit. And I've kind of worked out with this razor, a little stroke like that works very well rather than one long stroke. A little bit shaky sometimes, on my left hand particularly. I've had that since I had meningitis about 11 years ago now, and I hope that doesn't continue as I get older, I'll be honest with you. I'm a bit worried about that, but there we go. And you can see I'm going against the grain on my face, using that sort of, like a buffing motion. The angle changes obviously around the jaw, so I find that I'm doing this with the razor, trying to change the angle as I come around my jaw like that. I think this style of razor, well, perhaps any razor, is a challenge when you're not used to it, but perhaps you can see there, I'm really close to my skin with the back end of the razor to get that optimum angle. Now just be careful here, because this is another area where I have soft skin with lots of movement in the skin and the facial muscles, but down there and there, really coarse hairs. So that's an area to stretch and to be careful of. I've just got the handle a little wet, so we'll give it a wipe. It is rubberized, but with being silicone, but if it's too wet, it's just going to be slippy. And I'm just going to put a little more soap on my top lip there. There we go, that will do for me. Now I can tell you guys, it feels like I've had a very close shave. I can feel it here, mostly, a little bit on here, and just down here as well. The rest of it feels okay. And I always like to, with this razor, just do that on my towel if I'm leaving it in to shave with on another day. That is a super shave. That's a really good close shave. I don't often get BBS with this type of razor. I'm not that proficient with it yet. But I do get the next best thing. I mean, I've had a really close shave. These bits are, again, better than they usually are. There's a little bit of hair there, but I don't want to fuss on with those. But as I say, that is with the Softguard blade, which is, what did I say? A mild, relaxed shave. And I think that's pretty accurate, but you still have to be quite careful with it. Now today, I'm going to use a little bit of Proraso. Yeah, a little bit of appley scent in there. So I feel that will go with the chocolate. And that is not as strong as it was. Let me smell it in the bowl. I'm not really getting the bitter orange. We're getting a bit of vanilla. But that chocolate is dying down and the other scents are coming to the fore now. So that type of soap that is based on the scent of a food is called a gourmand soap, like a gourmet. As I say, I really didn't think I'd like a chocolate one, but I quite like this one. It's just a little intense when you first put your nose in it. It smells of the type of chocolate cake that would make you feel really sick if you had a bit too much. Anyway, that's my shave today with the Feather Artists Club SS style of Shavette, that Kamasori style of Shavette. So thanks for joining me. I hope that was informative and useful to you. Take good care. See you next time around. Bye bye now.